So Apple recently did their new launch and it was incredible. Loads of people are excited about all the amazing new products like the Apple tags and some crazy purple iPhone. But the main purpose for this video is to look at the new iMac 2021 and ask the question, is it the best desktop PC for architects and designers? So Apple versus Windows has been a constant battle in the profession for as long as I can remember. And when I think of architecture school and university, it stands out to me that the IT suites are either all Macs or Windows, or you find that they're completely half and half. So this battle has always been going on in our profession and wider, but I finally think Apple have made the PC, the desktop, the computer, which is now going to transform our industry. So there's a lot to talk about of why I think this is probably going to be the best desktop for architects and designers. But I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to be talking about the key features relating to the performance, which I think puts this desktop way ahead. So the first thing is speed. And this is all thanks to the new M1 chip, which if you haven't heard about is this new Apple independent flagship chip, which they're going to be using for the iMac. They have already been using it for some of their machines like the MacBook Pro, but this is the first time they're going to be putting it in the iMac, and they chose to do it in the new flagship iMac, which has now had a complete redesign. If you want to talk about the design and that being a massively contentious topic, tune into my other video if it isn't already out. Will be coming out soon. From a designer's point of view, I think it'll be a very interesting video to talk about why I actually think the design of the iMac is brilliant too. But speed, yes, speed is unbelievable. The M1, if you look at the benchmark compared to the previous models of the iMac, which use the Intel chips, it destroys it. It is way faster, around 30% faster than the last iMac. And this is just the already released versions of the M1 chip. This isn't even the new iMac M1. So you can just see already that the M1 chip has a massive effect on speed. But then the real amazing thing is when you compare the M1 chip, and I believe these are other top industry computers, all the Intel range and the AMD, it destroyed them too. And it was sitting there at the very top, just below the Intel Core i9, which is seriously way overpowered for any architectural and designer use. We're talking about the highest spec gaming PC CPU, and the M1 chip sits just below that. So it is top end of the industry competitors. But another thing to bear in mind is not just how it compares to the previous iMac, which used the Intel chip, or how it compares to the Intel chips used in the other Windows PCs. It's also worth looking at how this chip works independently, because the M1 chip itself is going to be running a lot smoother because it's made by Apple. It's not an outsourced chip, which of course Intel were working very closely with Apple to create the most efficient chip, but it's not going to be as efficient as Apple's own chip. So when the GPU performance, i.e. the graphics versus the power benchmark was measured, as you can see, the M1 chip comes in as twice as fast than the latest PC laptop chip, arguably is its industry competitor, and it just destroys it. And the reason being is it's not as heavy duty, I believe, as the other industry chips, but because of its seamless integration with all the other Apple kind of technological infrastructure, its graphical performance is also going to be amazing. This thing is going to be a speed demon. And if you've used an iMac before and you thought that was fast, this is faster. And we're talking even at its bottom range, even in the cheapest new iMac you can buy, which if you look at the website, you can currently order 3 iMacs ranging in price. You can see it starts off at a very reasonable price. And another amazing thing is you can even customize the RAM and the memory, add and take away whatever you want to get the price you want as well. The other reason I think this is going to be the best desktop is it's an all-in-one, and it's the best all-in-one currently available in the market. I think it's light years ahead compared to any other PCs or desktops, because of its laterals, because of what it has within it. The reason to buy iMacs is because they're so amazing with everything they have involved all in one machine. And now they've somehow fitted it into something which is just absurdly thin, but still they've improved their camera, they've improved their microphone, and they've improved the speakers to give you the best camera they've ever had, a 1080p front camera, the best microphone they've ever had, a studio quality microphone, which is crazy, and the best speakers they've ever had, which is a Dolby Atmos 6-speaker system. So with all of those things combined, you've got this incredibly powerful machine, which is not just super fast, amazing graphics, and really smooth, but also massive improvements to all the other features. However, it must be said that you aren't able to customize your iMac once you get it. You're not going to be able to change the chips and add RAM and add memory as you need, and that is somewhat of a downfall. However, you do have the option to customize those things when you buy them. You know, if you know what you want and you do your research, you shouldn't make any mistakes there. But also it's worth bearing in mind that if you do want the extra power and you do want to kind of have something which is top end, it's very likely that Apple are going to release another iMac, which is going to have the M1X chip, which is going to be even stronger, probably top of the industry when it comes to speed and graphics, but also with a larger screen, because right now you're limited with screen size. So that's worth waiting for even longer if you do want the super powerful machine. However, for architecture students, for architects and the designers, I don't think you need that super power. I think this is enough power. People can get a bit power hungry when it comes to the computers, but this has got everything you need. And I think with that additional M1 chip integration, it's going to be so smooth. The user experience is going to feel even faster. Another thing bearing in mind as well is another prediction is I also think everybody in the architectural and design industry is going to have an iPad as a standard when it comes to having your own drawing tablet. It's becoming way more popular in architecture in my industry, but I think generally speaking, iPads are now becoming the compulsory machine you need to have now. It's now become the vital kit that everybody needs to have. I think especially this is happening with students in architecture, where you don't actually need a laptop to take to university, you just need an iPad and you can have your home desktop at home. And on that topic as well, I think offices are going to transform drastically, obviously because of COVID-19. And what's probably going to happen is we're going to be spending way more time at home on the home PC, and therefore our PC suite at home is going to have to be comfortable, and also it's going to have to meet, you know, all of our video calling, Zoom and crazy conference calling needs, which is again emphasizes why I think this iMac is going to be perfect with its studio quality microphone and crazy HD camera built in. It's just going to be the perfect home PC, and for me, that's why I think this is going to be the best PC you can buy for your architectural and design needs at home, especially because of the shift that I think is going to be happening with offices thanks to COVID-19. But also it's worth noting, I think Windows PCs are still always going to have that little bit of an edge when it comes to commercial offices, because of probably the risk associated with having, you know, much more expensive hardware that Apple gives, and it's probably not as cost effective as having Windows setups with all of its external hardware capabilities. So I think Windows will always have the edge when it comes to offices, but as I said, I think offices, they're already transforming. You know, we're working from home now, and that's probably going to become more of a permanent thing. So that makes me say this iMac going forward in the future, and the way we're going to be working and our needs as designers and architects, the iMac 2021 is something I'm definitely going to buy. And so when I get my hands on the iMac 2021, I will be doing another video unboxing it, getting a feel of it, seeing how it performs. So stay tuned for that. But also, if you're interested in getting yourself an iPad, a budget iPad, something affordable, check out my videos. And also I do all sorts of drawing tutorials for architecture and design, so make sure you check those out too. Oh, and also if you're interested in architecture and kind of the deeper long form discussions around architecture, make sure you check out my architecture podcast, Two Worlds Design, on my channel. And finally, if you guys have any opinions on the iMac, if you disagree with any of my opinions, leave a comment, let me know. I'm interested in knowing what you guys think. Do you think this iMac 2021 will be the best desktop PC for architects and designers? Let me know what you think. And that's all from me. See you on the next video.